Hello, everyone. My name is Jill. I am a holistic living consultant at Karmic Channels, a collective of spiritual and holistic practitioners. Today, I want to discuss with you what I mean when I say quality of life. This is a term that some of you may have heard me use before, but what does that really mean? Quality of life for me can be simplified into 3 pillars: functionality, which is your physical health; interaction, which is mental and emotional well-being; and enjoyment, which is spiritual purpose and your fulfillment. So functionality is, can your body do the basic things with little to no struggle? Can your body function with little to no meds or supplements? Supplements are not bad, and neither are medications, but how are you using it? Before you supplement, ask yourself, what am I eating? Am I eating a diet rich in sugar and processed foods, or am I eating more whole foods? What am I drinking? Energy drinks, coffee, pop, flavored water, or am I drinking non-fluoridated, pure, unsweetened water? Now, I want to elaborate on that one just a little bit. I've heard people say before that they don't like the taste of plain water, and I'll tell you why. This is my opinion. But I believe the reason a lot of people don't like plain water is because what they're tasting is water that is stripped of its helpful nutrients. It's chlorinated, fluoridated, and possibly has other contaminants. So if you've never had clean, unadulterated water, I suggest you try it. But while you do this, I'm going to recommend that you cut out the other beverages, caffeinated beverages, and just see how it goes for a few days with just plain, clean water. I recommend reverse osmosis because it purifies the best. It removes contaminants, everything from heavy metals to chlorine to fluoride. And for those of you that don't know, fluoride does not help your dental health, but that's a topic for another time. What does help your dental health is pure nutrition. But again, I will discuss that at a later recording. Clean air is the next one. What are you breathing? Are you breathing in artificial fragrance from Glade plugins, scented cat litter, scented garbage bags? The list is really long nowadays. It didn't used to be. Even 20 years ago, we didn't have scented garbage bags. But all of these things, there are unscented versions of. And as far as cleaning products, there's a lot more natural products on the market that may or may not have a scent, but if they are scented, it's usually from essential oils and not artificial fragrance. The brief version is that artificial fragrances actually affect our hormones, and they have found that if you're breathing in fragrances all the time, such as cologne, perfume, Febreze, and again, the scented household products, that it's the equivalent of smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. I will also elaborate more on this subject in a future session. And the other thing to address for functionality is balanced thoughts and emotions. Are your thoughts and emotions balanced? And if not, why? A lot of times this, again, can relate back to what you're eating, drinking, and breathing, okay? Because our physical health plays an important role in our ability for our brain to work optimally and regulate our emotions optimally. It gets down the biochemistry. But the other aspect to this is emotional trauma. Do you have unresolved emotional trauma? This is something that needs to be addressed because your emotions and your mental health relate to your physical health. That energy goes both ways. So emotional trauma does need to be addressed. It needs to be healed. If you're taking medication for PTSD or anxiety or depression, and I think you're smart enough to know this, you're treating the symptoms, but it's not healing the condition. To heal it, I recommend Reiki. I recommend psychotherapy with a therapist that is hopefully more spiritual and open. But I'll tell you how I know something is healed in regards to emotions, okay? If you have an event from your past that you often think about, you often get emotional about still, when you've healed it, you will no longer feel emotion, good, bad, or ugly, when you think of that event. So if you can think of an event that happened to you or happened to someone you know without emotion, then you know you've healed it. This does not mean that you're a robot. This simply means that you have worked through all the emotional stages of grief in relation to that event, and now you're at the point of acceptance. And also that you forgive the individual or yourself. Again, I will get more into this at a later session. When you address the areas of eating, drinking, breathing, thinking, and feeling, your need for supplements and medications may actually decrease or disappear altogether. Healing is a multifaceted approach, but it is also very simple. So once we've addressed functionality, then we go to interaction. What does interaction mean to me? It means emotional and mental well-being, which I briefly just talked about in regards to your physical health, how your physical health can relate to your mental and emotional health. Interaction is a healthy interaction. It is not being around narcissists. It is not feeling like a victim. It is taking control of your life, choosing the friends that you want. And these are friends that you don't have to agree with them on everything. It's good to have diversity of thought because that's how we learn. But these are friends that don't make you feel inferior and that you don't make them feel inferior. And you can agree to disagree peacefully. Don't surround yourself with people who require you to participate in groupthink or a one-size-fits-all mentality. There's a quote I heard recently, and it comes from Galileo. And it says, "In questions of science, the authority of 1,000 isn't worth the humble reasoning of a single individual." And people may say, what does that have to do with my mental and emotional health? He's talking about science, right? But you can take that and you can transpose it onto your groups of friends, your family, or whoever you surround yourself with. Just because 5 out of 6 friends may think that something has to be done a certain way or you have to believe a certain way, that doesn't mean you have to. And this is where diversity of thought is very important. You should be able to have the kind of friends that even if you disagree, that it doesn't turn into a screaming match or petty behavior that would remind you of grade school. The last thing I want to cover for today is enjoyment, what I equate with spiritual purpose and fulfillment. Think back to what your interests and dreams were as a child or as a teen. Was it working on cars, painting, writing, participating in a choir or an orchestra? Perhaps it was building or constructing structures or doing wood crafts. And maybe it was even researching and studying. We as a society tend to prioritize analytical thought, science, math, history. That's fine for people who love those things. But what about the rest of us? Why do we stop people from pursuing their passions? That, to me, is a big mistake we make as a society. One of the main reasons we do this is money, being protective, or so we think, of others. But we have to be careful in the way that we think we're protecting people, because it may not serve them and it may not serve us. It is a disservice, spiritually, to do something that you don't love. You have to get it out of your head, out of your thinking, that if you pursue what it is you love, that you're not going to make money at it. For those that study quantum physics, they know exactly what I mean. What you put out is what you get back. So if you believe that your hobbies and interests will not bring you an income ever, then you are manifesting that reality. Does that mean that if you start working on your hobbies, such as classic cars, that you're suddenly going to be a millionaire? No. It just means that if you pursue what you love, you have a passion for it, it drives you to do the work it takes to become possibly independent or to start a small business or whatever it is you want to do. That doesn't mean you have to start a business. If you enjoy counseling people, go for it. I want to kind of wrap up by sharing this concept with you. Someone else's experience in a certain thing, their failure or their success with a certain way of life does not mean that you will have the same experience. They will tell you sometimes, I tried that, but it didn't work out and here's why. Take that as a learning opportunity. Now they're sharing their wisdom with you, what did not work. So find out what can work. When you feel enjoyment, which is your spiritual path and purpose, again, this is not the corporeal type of enjoyment, which is seeking out lust, greed, things of that nature. But true enjoyment, it comes from your passion. How do you find your passion? Again, what did you love? What do you love now? What can help you pass the time without you even thinking about it? Passion is what you love so much that you actually have trouble pulling yourself away. And when you are engaged in it, you may forget to eat, drink, and sometimes even sleep because you enjoy it that much. Passion is loving something so much that you get excited talking to others about it and you want to share. Even if they don't want to listen, you still want to share. I'm not encouraging imbalance by neglecting your physical health by avoiding eating, drinking, or sleeping. What I am simply saying is if you are that driven by your passion, then that is what you should be doing. If it's trimming horses' feet as a farrier, great. If it's building a house, if it's painting, if it's writing, if it's playing music, if it's sitting in a room with a microscope, great. Then that's awesome too. But remember, your passion is what you love so much that you have trouble pulling yourself away. And that, my friends, is spiritual fulfillment. That is what you should be contributing to the world in whatever way you can. If you're doing a job that you hate, if you have coworkers that make you miserable, whether it's virtual or in person, realize that you don't have to continue down that path. You don't have to keep doing it. I would start looking. Start looking for a new job. Start looking for something that fulfills you. Start your own business if that's what you want. Get engaged with the world in a whole new way. Quality of life, functionality, which is your physical health, interaction, mental and emotional well-being, and enjoyment, spiritual purpose, and fulfillment. These are the things when I talk about quality of life. My passion is to help you improve your quality of life. I love seeing people heal, and I want to help you. You can check out my page at karmicchannels.org. Click on Jill Spirithorse. You'll see an abundant list of books, documentaries, and websites to help you gain an understanding of how you can improve your function and subsequently your interaction so that you can pursue what it is that you enjoy. And I also recommend on our website, there's a blog called Spirituality and Mental Health. I highly recommend you read that because it'll help bridge the gap between mental and emotional well-being and spirituality, because mind, body, and spirit are all related.